Welcome back. A reaction from Thierry, Emma and Alan in just a moment, who've all very much enjoyed this match tonight. But let's hear from the man of the match. He is with Gabriel Clark. It is, of course, Kasper Schmeichel.
Well, Kasper, considering the defensive issues you've had this season, considering the opposition, where'd you place tonight and the win?
An important win, very important win. You know, the turnaround being so fast, having a very difficult game 2 days ago, or one 2 days ago. You know, to go out second half in the previous game, perform the way we did, and then today going in, you know, tired legs, tired minds, going in, putting in a performance like that. You know, it's a credit to everyone. It's a credit to our mentality. You know, we haven't had it our way this season, I think, and the thing we always character ourselves about ourselves is that we don't give up. We keep going, and today that was that.
What was key to your penalty save? Because it seemed to give the whole stadium a lift once it had happened, almost some real belief. But what was key from your point of view?
Saving it. Saving it.
Absolutely.
That was key,
but did you study? Have you studied Mo Salah's penalty taking? Was it an instinctive thing?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Had a feeling. Went with it.
Yeah. And then when you see him following up with the header.
Yeah, you're just praying. You're just praying. We know we haven't had that kind of luck. You know, I think. The last penalty I saved here at the King Power, they scored the rebound, so we needed that little bit of luck, which we got today a couple of times. But when you're up against an opposition that good, you know, you need that bit of luck. We didn't have it against City. We had it a bit today.
Was it almost the way that the manager had planned it? Obviously, be strong defensively if you can be, but then the counter-attacking, and obviously the way you got the goal.
Well, I mean, it's obviously an element of our play, something we know we can do. We want to try and have the ball, but in periods against teams like Man City and Liverpool, there are going to be long periods where you don't have the ball, so you have to have that threat on the counter. Addy came on, fantastic. ᴠᴏɪᴛ, you know, great assist. So yeah, it's a thoroughly enjoyable win, and now we just got to rest up and move on.
And what do you hope it can give your season? Because it has been a bit stop-start, obviously the European issue as well. So what do you hope it can give your season now? What's achievable?
No, I think for us the key this season is consistency. You know, we haven't found that consistency. But I've said it many times before. The thing about it is that if I'm sitting back and analysing us as a team, as a club, as a unit, and if I was to sit back and think that we aren't doing enough, we aren't working hard enough, then it'd be a problem. But you know, I can honestly say we're working so hard on every aspect of the game. And yeah, we've needed that little bit of luck today. We got it, so hopefully that can kickstart us.
Well, it feels like a special night for your supporters. Well done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Relief all over his face. I'm sure huge relief in the dressing room as well. But also, you can imagine, having had that result 2 days ago, you know, it took a lot to get those players to believe in themselves, to come out here, make 5 changes and say, yeah, we can beat Liverpool, who are second in the table, who score goals for fun.
You've got to say a huge well done to Brendan and his team this evening for the way they prepared in the short amount of time that they had for the 2 days. Who says you can't play 2 games in 2 days?
We'll talk about that later.
Their attitude was fantastic. Brendan's decisions worked perfectly, not only before the game and picking the team and the personnel, to the positions to play in, but also during the game when he changed it slightly second half. The sub he brought on turns out to be the match winner for him. In tough circumstances, you need your players to give you a shift, to give you something extra, to give you the fans and you as a manager everything they've got. And his players did that and more tonight. And I thought they thoroughly deserved the win. They stuck in there. It was tough at times for them, but I thought they were absolutely fantastic.
I imagine as a manager that is enormously satisfying when you get those key decisions so spot on, like Brendan Rodgers did tonight, just 2 days after such a disappointing.
Yeah, but like Kasper said, you need a little bit of luck. I mean, first of all, the crowd played an unbelievable role tonight and they really lifted their team. But there were key moments for me was staying in the game, getting to half-time at 0-0. But the second key moment was the subs made by both managers, and Leicester's turned out to be, I think, the more advantageous subs, and not just ᴅᴏ, but I think Tielemans come in, gave him a bit more solidity in central midfield. I think it allowed their build-up play to be a lot better, and Liverpool had to go wider and wider to try and create chances. So I think those tactical changes were the big differences between winning and drawing this game today for them.
They had 67 touches in the end in the opposition box, Liverpool. In 15 years of Opta stats, no team has had that many touches and not scored. as somebody who perfected the art of scoring. What was going on there tonight for you? Why was that finished product not there?
Simple as that. Them not scoring. I mean, Schmeichel said it. They got lucky. They got lucky at the beginning of the second half. Not lucky at the beginning of the first half because he said it himself. He guessed it right. But normally, you expect them to punish team when they're not at their best or when they give them chances, and they didn't. But one thing that I want to go back to what Schmeichel was talking about. He was talking about that they have the desire, the commitment, and the will of wanting to do well. And I actually saw that through the subs. And I don't like actually to say the word subs, but I say sub because we're all used to say it, but the game changes. Those guys today came on to change the game. ᴠᴏᴞ, Tillmans, and also Brighton at the end, doing the job that Maddison couldn't do anymore. I think you saw that through the team, and I can see what he was meaning with the they don't give up.
As we just heard from Schmeichel there, and he did make some other spectacular saves, let's have a little look at the penalty, because perhaps this wasn't the most spectacular save of the lot at all, because it was potentially a poor penalty. Would you
well,
argue from Mo
it was a
Salah?
poor penalty if you're looking at it from Mo Salah's point of view, absolutely. It was without doubt the right decision. I mean, indeed he didn't do that much wrong tonight, but that was one of the things he did. It was a poor tackle, it was a penalty. But we say it's a poor penalty from a forward's point of view. When you're the goalkeeper, he'll say it was a very good save. He's guessed right. Not only has he guessed right, but he's had a strong enough hand to keep it out. Yes, they've got a little bit of luck in terms of the return. He misses it also. But you know what? You make your luck in this game sometimes. If you feel sorry for yourselves, you often don't get it. But if you stick together as a team, you get it.
And Emma, you said it really, the atmosphere changed, didn't it, here? Because the crowd was a little bit nervous almost coming into this after what had happened to them on Boxing Day. And that seemed to really raise the roof, raise spirits and raise expectations.
Well, prior to the penalty, I mean, it was a poor set-up from the throw-in because of the indecision with the two centre-backs. Instead of going one in front, one behind, Henderson was free just inside of the box. It was a lovely layoff to Salah. But the two centre-backs grew throughout this game. And, I mean, you talk about players filling in, playing different roles. What a wonderful performance from both of them tonight. And I think ᴠᴏᴞ in front, they got stronger as the game went on. And then down this left-hand side, two young players who I thought was superb. Dewsbury was masterful in his performance, his link play, his defensive work. Look how quiet Salah was in the game today. I mean, really, we've got to give a lot of credit to Leicester.
Dewsbury Hall got his Premier League debut at the beginning of December, and he's started 3 games since because of the problems they've got in defence in terms of injuries and COVID. They've got an impressive list of missing defenders, an entire back five. Thierry missing from Leicester.
But they are, as Emma just said, when you see how NDD and Amarte played as centre backs, and I know sometimes they played it a bit in a weird way. They played centre back as they were playing midfielders, wanting to dive in and get the ball instead of trying to read the game. But they did a job. They did a job, and yes, people will tell me, yes, if they score the penalty, yes, if, yes, what. But when the team is trying to achieve something, especially after the Man City game, the luck turn your way.
OK, well, speaking of luck, let's have a look at ᴠᴏᴞ's goal. 2 minutes, 58 seconds he was on the pitch. And timing's everything in terms of when you choose to make these game changes, Alan. And
yeah, who blinks first? And it was a brave decision for him to do it, but it worked perfectly for him. I mean, this is such a clever goal, well worked. ᴠᴏᴞ's positive there. Emma has mentioned Dewsbury Hall, who I thought was a real contention for man of the match also, the way to pass, but then the ability to get across the defender knowing he can't touch him, then have the ability to finish that off. I mean, that's a really positive, clever goal from Leicester, well worked down that left-hand side.
What I like on the goal is the desire that he had to go and make the box. Normally you expect Vardy at that moment to make the run for Dewsbury Hall, but no, ᴠᴏᴞ made the run. And the desire that he had. He took a ball just before that, and he left Alexander-Arnold for dead on the side. And he got that one, and there was no stopping him. He was going to score there.
And Emma, I can tell you we have got some lovely clips of Kiernan Dewsbury Hall for you to wax lyrical over in just a moment time, because you were particularly impressed with his performance. But we are going to have a chance now to speak to Brendan Rodgers, who is, I believe, there he is. Congratulations, Brendan. That was an impressive performance, a great win, but all the more so after your Boxing Day experience at the Etihad.
Yeah, well, you play against the two teams that we've played. They're incredible quality and physicality in the game. So today was going to be a huge test of not our football, but our mentality and spirit and physicality. And and that there's probably not a team that's more physical in the league than Liverpool. So to come through it with a clean sheet and play how we played and show the resilience that we had, it was not lost for words really, because it was such a heroic performance in the context of the two games.
Brendan, what did you say after the Boxing Day result? Because knowing you had 2 days to this game, you made 5 changes to the starting lineup. You've got practically a whole defensive lineup out. What did you say to the team? How did you galvanise them?
Well, I said after the game, I thought away at Manchester City we actually had played well going forward. We've been decent going forward and scoring goals, but of course with all the players that were missing, it's been a challenge for us structurally. With the players that are missing, but just to listen, we knew coming into this game that probably because of the scoreline against Man City, that how this game works, probably the headlines were already written, about how many goals Liverpool would score, and obviously with all the injuries that we have. So, but the beauty of the game is that you write your own story in football, and that was what we'd said to the players before. We need to give a big effort, big energy, and we know have quality.
Boss. This is
Thierry.
This is Thierry. Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. I was impressed with the way you set up the team in the first half, and also I wanted to know exactly what did you ask ᴅᴏᴀ and Maddison off the ball, because they did a lot on their midfielders.
Yeah, but we felt that obviously with how Liverpool play, the full-backs are really important. They get forward and get the numbers on the inside. So playing the diamond allowed us to have that 4 and that on the inside, and then that allows you to be 2v2 with the centre halves. But of course, whenever the side of the diamond jumps out, your number 10, which was James, he has to then fill in, and then sometimes on the side of the ball, the striker will have to fill in as well, just to try and keep a compact shape, because they're so good and they move the ball so fast, Liverpool, and so you have to try and block the spaces if you can't initially win it. So yeah, they all did that, and they all, tactically were very good in the game.
Brendan, it's Emma here.
Hi, Emma.
What were you thinking with the 2 subs for ᴠᴏᴀ and ᴠᴏᴀ to come in? What were you looking to do at that point in the game?
Well, as you know yourself, Emma, if you play a diamond, and especially you're playing against a big team, they can really switch it onto the sides, because that's where the space is. So I just felt that probably after the hour we could bring in Adi, who can give us the speed and the individual quality from the side and block that up, and then Yuri to come in and make passes. So we then go to 4-3-3 just to fill the sides when we were defending, but also give us that width and quality in central areas when we had the ball.
Brendan, hi, it's Alan. How tempted were you to stay with the same system that you went to at half-time against Manchester City in the second half? That worked for you, but going back to the back 4, I mean, it's worked again superbly for you. Was that a difficult decision?
No, just each game's different, Alan. I think that the game against Manchester City, because they make lots of runs in the corridor, so we felt that we just got exploited a little bit with that, and we needed to block that up. So when we went to 5-4-1, it becomes 3-4-3 when you have the ball. But no, I felt this was a game that we could play the 4, because their wingers come right the way on the inside, so not really stretching the game. They do it in a different way to Manchester City. So the back 4 will then have the wingers and the striker on the inside. So different idea for the game.
You must have been so proud of your players in terms of defensively from set pieces, because as we all know, that's one area where you have struggled. You struggled at the weekend with that also, so to have the limited amount of time to try and change it up as you did tonight, I mean, you've gone more man for man tonight rather than a zonal system. You must be so proud of the way the players handled that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We had a first full season here, and we were very, very good in our set pieces, and then especially over this season, we just haven't been. We've obviously been missing players as such, but still, we had to be much better. And you'll notice from watching the game, we probably went back a little bit of old school. Yeah. We just went man to man, get players on the post, in the space, someone on the edge, and the guys in that moment were heroic. Really, they defend it really strong. Put it onto the defenders to defend and win their duels, and then, like I say, when you have to block and intercept, you have to do that. So yeah, we had a few corners we had to defend, but the players did that very well.
Yeah.
Brendan, we just showed a whole back five missing for you. You know, and your young players have acquitted themselves brilliantly. I'm sure you've learnt a lot about the likes of Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, and Luke Thomas obviously been playing in the team for a while. But any of those players due back soon, or do you have any dates for players coming back?
No, they're still a little bit away, and of course that's a big challenge for a club like ourselves. Gabby, having that, you know, we don't have the depth of squad, but what we always do is we've always got players that will come in and do the very best. So there's not an imminent return for them. We obviously have Wilf and the boys in the African nations. They'll go after the weekend as well, so that limits us, like our two centre halves tonight. So they will move on after the weekend's game. So yeah, so it's just one of those periods. It's been really unfortunate for us, but we have to, you know, just get on with it and do the very best we can.
Well, I'm sure that the result tonight will give Christmas a completely different gloss to Boxing Day, and hopefully enable you to celebrate New Year. And congratulations from all of us. I know it's Norwich next, isn't it? Yeah. So not long before that one. But best of luck there and the rest of the season going forward. So thanks for chatting.
Brilliant. Yeah, and just quickly, just to make a quick. I've obviously never met Emma before, but I'd worked at Chelsea and I know how great a club it is. But she's done an amazing job for women's football, and all the things that you're doing.
Thank you.
You know, is really helping women's football progress. And obviously, as a fellow coach, watched from the outside, you've done amazing. So well done.
That means a lot, thank you. I've been coughing for the last 3 minutes, so at least I can stop that fear. I appreciate your words and wish you the best of luck.
Pleasure. Alan, I'll see you at ᴅᴏᴏ, I'm sure.
Look forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, bye-bye, all the best, thank you.
Cheers, Gabby. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Take care. And it's not COVID, by the way. She's tested all the time.
Yes.
It's not COVID. Don't worry, stay where you are.
I'm staying.
It must be lovely to hear that from a fellow coach.
Yeah, it's completely unexpected. You can see him had a sore throat for a couple of weeks. So Brendan's a wonderful manager who's had a brilliant career, not just at Chelsea, Liverpool. So I was a bit surprised, taken back by that. Very proud of the way his team played tonight.
I'm going to get you a glass of water. And while we do that, let's have a look at...
Jurgen, your captain, Virgil van Dijk, said Leicester deserved the win. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, definitely. So that everybody from Leicester team, well deserved. It was a very strange game. We were tonight just not good enough. It's strange that you still lose a game like this, because we had enough chances. We missed a penalty. We had really enough chances. We won, especially in the first half, enough balls when they were from them, when they want to play football. And then, but what we did then with the balls were just not right. And so we played a really bad game. And so yes, well deserved.
You're so used, obviously, to seeing Liverpool score. What was missing in the final third? What was it?
Oh, decision making, maybe a little bit of luck here and there. That's how it is. Sometimes there's an inch on the foot, the ball is in or not. But we should have had more of these moments. We had enough to score, to win, but if you don't use them, you need more of them. That's what we couldn't do as well. And then, of course, second half. So I think we started okay. Then we lost completely rhythm. Didn't really get it back, then they score, and then we are under pressure, and from now we force it. And apart from the last 10 minutes of a massive chance, obviously it was really good football when Sadio in front of the goal. But apart from that, it was then more like really force it with a set piece, stuff like this, and we were free and had 3 headers from the set pieces, which we usually use as well. So yeah, there's nothing else to say. And with the circumstances, especially Leicester played 2 days ago, they deserve it absolutely.
What about the way in which Leicester were able to counter-attack and get the goal? Clearly that was part of their plan. You would have seen that coming.
Must be completely right. Must be. Yeah, it was a little bit like you could see it coming a little bit. They had one shot on target, so it was now not that they had plenty of chances, but in this moment we lost the ball high up the pitch, or didn't win the ball back high up the pitch. Should have done then, obviously defended it better, no doubt about that. We do that usually. Why we didn't do it today, it's really difficult to explain in the moment. So it's really difficult. There were so many performances below normal level. How's that? No real explanation in the moment.
How do you then look at the table? Manchester City, 9 wins in a row, they're on that superb run. The gap is 6 points. We're at the halfway stage, but some might look at that gap and say it's a big gap.
It is. It is. It's a big gap, but look, you can imagine in this moment, the gap to City is not my problem. So if we play football like this more often, then we don't have to think about it. If we play our football, normal football, Liverpool football, then we have a chance to win a lot of football games, and then we will see where we end up. But for the moment, is this the gap, not my main problem.
So the key now is how you recover from this.
Recover, yeah. We have to. Defeat is a defeat, a proper defeat. If you don't learn of it, so and we have to learn, and we will. The first thing, don't do it ever again like this, because we had from a specific moment no rhythm, and we're not calm enough to get the rhythm back, and it's our fault.
Thank you, Jurgen.
Yeah, and interestingly, Manchester City play twice before Liverpool play next in the Premier League, which means it could be a 12-point lead. Obviously, other teams around, things can happen, but suddenly it doesn't look quite like a two-horse race.
No, I mean, Man City have been relentless in their performance, but he's right, that's not his concern. What would be his concern is the way his team played tonight. He hasn't really got the excuse of playing 2 days or 2 games in 2 days, but his team were flat tonight. They didn't play well. They got into good positions at times. Their final ball was poor. Yes, they had a penalty miss. Yes, they missed a sitter with Mane, but the Liverpool team that we have all got used to watching, plays with energy, plays on the front foot, closes you down with intensity, and didn't really see enough of that tonight from that Liverpool side.
But there were already some signs, if you remember well, the game against Newcastle, then in the Cup against Leicester. Yeah, you can tell me it wasn't the same starting lineup, but against Tottenham, there were signs of them not being at their best, but somehow they managed to punish, obviously, Newcastle.
They were missing some key personnel, though, weren't they?
Yeah, but there was a kind of a weird atmosphere and momentum. They got by. Before those games, they were killing teams. And today, they just had a one-off game. I would say that you can see that he's allowing them to have, but no more.
Of course, they missed the penalty and then 2 great chances.
Well, Virgil, did you deserve better, or did Leicester just about deserve the win?
I think they deserved the win, but it was obviously down to us. I think we were poor the last third, in my opinion. A lot of crosses that obviously they defended well. It was just overall not a good performance, and obviously they didn't create much, but they looked dangerous on the break, what they obviously good at. So obviously credit to them, and we have to look at ourselves. Everyone has to look in the mirror and improve, and that's what we will do. That's part of football.
Yeah, it's so rare, isn't it? Obviously, Liverpool always score. They have done always scored this season. You miss a penalty, or the penalty is saved, and then there are other chances as well. Was there a sense maybe that we will score and a complacency set in?
Well, yeah, you know, we'll keep trying until the very end, and we created good chances, in my opinion. Fortunately, today was not the day that it felt in the back of the net. Penalty missed, yeah, could happen. Obviously, it's very disappointed for us. But yeah, what I said, you know, it's part of football, and we have to take this with us and be ready for a very big one on Sunday.
The decisive moment, the ᴠᴏᴛ goal, a good goal, or should you have done better defensively?
As
a unit?
Well, obviously you don't want to concede at all. I think he had a little bit too much space at first, and we let him, you know, get in his strength. He's a good dribbler. Unfortunately, you know, the goal went in. But still, you know, we had moments that we reacted. We had created chances and should have done better. But overall, I think they could be Leicester could be proud of their performance, and you have to give the credit as well.
In the bigger picture, how do you view the gap now? Manchester City 6 points clear, halfway stage of the season. How do you view the bigger picture of the title race?
What can we say? We're in December. You know, the season is still so long. Anything can happen still. We've seen it now, you know, with the COVID, but also with injuries in teams. You know, things can change. They have been fortunate that no one obviously has cases, but you know, there's no point for us to look at them or look at Chelsea or look at the other teams around us at this point in the season, and we won't. We should look at our performance today and have to improve and take it with us to the next game. You know, we all wanted to do better today. That's a fact, and unfortunately we weren't good enough, and they deserve the win.
Thanks, Virgil.
You're welcome.
Maybe
Anybody out there hear me?